far from here, about 200 miles maybe.
But still, back in those days, that's a
Oh,
long trip.
in the buggy. My grandpa had a buggy, and we
Really?
thought we were going, and he had like a seat on the front that moved, those springs, and we sit on the back, and Mama and my grandpa sit back there. That's a big story because after my grandpa married my grandma, they wanted him to go to the grandpa wanted for him to go with him. So my grandpa said, I will never change my name. I'm not a Myers. You didn't want me when I was little. He said, you sent my father away. I never even knew him. And but he tried to buy him back.
Oh.
So we used to go to the store. He had a store in Costilla. And we stopped at, the posts, like the electric or whatever, were going too fast. And he was just a horse, And my mom and my grandpa were swinging real nice on the buggy. Real pretty buggy.
Really?
And we were sitting on the back in a little seat. And then when we got there, it was me, Benny, and Tony, only three girls. And that man used to really like us. He was supposed to be our grandpa, And he gave us each a bag. And my mom go, she didn't want us to get the bags, because my grandpa used to tell stories, and they didn't like him, and he wanted to help him. And anyway, he said, you leave her alone. He could speak Spanish. He tell my mom. And let them get whatever they want. So he used to, I remember getting me by the hand,
Yeah.
and tell me, speak real good Spanish, like and tell me, you get whatever you want. Everything was in the stores in the back. So we went and gave her a little, like you get flour, whatever.
Scoop.
And stick and get, we were running, putting everything in there. And Mama was giving us the bad look, because she didn't want it, because he'd get mad. So here comes his wife, I think, the grandma, and a real pretty lady with real red cheeks. And she come and she get us by the hand and then take us to the other side where all the oranges, apple, and everything were there. And then she wanted Mom to get a dress or something. Mom wouldn't get nothing. I guess the stories Grandpa said didn't. But he used to go, but he wanted to pay him with stuff he brought, after he sold his flour and that. And the old man didn't want to, but it was real nice to be we wanted him to be our grandpa. And we already had my grandpa, my mom's dad, but my grandpa used to say, be nice, he tells us in Spanish. He said, be nice and very respectful, so when we were going to go, we would go and shake his hand. And he wanted to kiss us, but we didn't want him to kiss us. And he was real pretty old man. My grandpa was like that. He had a real red cheeks, green eyes. And he used to really like us, And then when I went in the morning, we go in the morning to get the bill. And he was eating breakfast. Grandma used to send us, me and Benny went with me. And we stand by him, We were hungry. And he had eggs and everything in his plate. And then he'd tell my grandma, give my hijitos something to eat. Oh, you go ahead and eat it and do it yourself. My grandma used to tell him, just playful. He said, I barely have enough for you and you want to feed them too. And he said, or in Spanish, he'd tell her, you stingy old lady. And he tells her, well, they're going to eat to me, with me. And Grandma made real good tortillas, used to make them in the oven. And you have big piece of tortilla. Oh, I was hungry. And he said, eat from my plate. Just being silly, They were real joking. So here comes Grandma. She already had our breakfast ready, And then we only ate half an egg. We couldn't eat the whole egg because we were too excited, I guess. I don't know why. And we always had meat, to eat bacon because they always had. And we eat it. And I wanted to put it in my pocket, and I didn't have a pocket to take to Mama, And so my grandma used to, but they both said, Grandma tried to pretend she was mad at my grandpa. And my grandpa, he was such a nice little man. He wasn't little, he was like one of the Irish guys.
A big guy?
And not too tall, and red cheeks too. And real light, his hair was sort of reddish. And his eyes were green. I remember that. And he used to hug us and wanted to tickle us. Grandma was kind of... I have a picture. I'll show you. She's Indian. I'll find it and I'll show you. My grandma started different than my grandma. So anyway, that grandpa was there, but he never wanted him. He said he was okay. He could help him, but he wanted to pay him. I remember he took his wallet out. He had like a bag and title here, and wanted to pay Grandpa. And Grandpa told him he didn't have to pay nothing. He said, "Yes, I do." But he used to tell us that that he didn't want to go, because we used to tell him, "Oh, how come he calls you Hito?" My son. He said, "Because he's my grandpa. He's my grandpa." He used to tell. And we thought, how could that man be his grandpa? And he said, and we tell him, "Well, how come you don't want him?" He said, "Because he didn't want me."